Hi, my name is Amanda Oldervik, and today I'll be doing the Aseptic lab with the use of the different media. So right now I'm starting with activity 1 of doing the culture and reactivating it. So the first step was to take off the metal band from the culture vial, which I already did because it was kind of difficult to take off. The next step is to remove the sterile plastic pipette, which I have right here. Okay, so do not set down the pipette and put it in your dominant hand. Triptych soy broth will be used to rehydrate using your pinky finger of your dominant hand. Remove the cap of the tube of the triptych soy broth, which I have right here. Remove cap and do not set the cap down and hold with your pinky while the tube is open. Run the mouth of the tube, of the open tube of the triptych soy broth 2 or 3 times through the candle, and this is called flaming the mouth of the cultural tube. And I'm making sure to do it around all edges, just to make sure to kill all of that extra stuff. Okay. Next, holding the tube at an angle, insert the pipette to obtain 1 milliliter of triptych soy broth. And I am getting a little extra because I do have a couple air bubbles in here. Okay, and I'm holding it up this way, that way none of it falls out of the tip. Flame the mouth of the cultural tube and replace the cap and set the tube aside in the rack. Again, I'm going to go through all the edges. Okay, placing the cap back on. I'm going to place this back into the rack. Using your non-dominant hand, remove the rubber stopper from the bacterial cultural vial. I'm using the Serratia marcescens. I don't know if that's how you say it. Okay. I will now be opening it. Now it is open. Dispense the contents of pipette onto the lyophilized culture. Replace the rubber stopper and wait for about 30 seconds. So I'm going to put in the 1 milliliter. Okay, still holding the pipette, and I'm not going to put it down. We're going to put the rubber back onto the culture. I'm going to let that sit for about 30 seconds, and I have a timer right here on my computer. Okay. About 10 more seconds left. Okay. Remove the rubber stopper and mix the culture gently with the pipette tip. We're gonna try to not get any air bubbles in here. We're just gonna gently mix this around and make sure there's no solid contents in there. Okay, looks good. Okay, remove the cap of the tube of the triptych soy broth again. And do not set the cap down like we did last time. Okay, and then we're going to flame the mouth 1 more time. Okay. Remove the cap from the tube of triptych soy again, flame the mouth. Use the pipette to transfer the dissolved culture from the vial to the tryptic soy broth. So I'm assuming that we put in everything from this into here of the tryptic soy broth. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, making sure I got everything. Okay. Use a pipette to transfer the dissolve. Okay, flame the mouth of the tube and replace the cap again. Screw the cap at the point or the finger tightness, then back about 1/4 of a turn. So we're gonna flame the mouth one more time. And then put the plastic lid back on till finger tightness, then backward about 1/4 of a turn. This will leave the cap just loose enough for the air, but no contaminants can enter the tube, which is pretty interesting. Place the pipette in the disposable jar, which I have sitting back here. Okay, at or near optimal temperature, which is printed on the lyophilized culture vial. This says 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, after rehydration, the next step in reactivation of the culture is incubation. Set the tube in the rack and allow it to incubate at or near optimal temperature, which is printed on the thing, which I already said is 25 degrees Celsius. The culture will be completely reactivated within 24 to 48 hours, but at cooler temperatures, more time is usually required. Okay, and I'll be back in 72 hours. Okay, so now we're starting with activity 2, the transfer from the culture to the nutrient broth. First, we're going to close the cap of the reactivated culture, and we're going to mix the contents by tapping the tube gently or rolling it between your palms. So I'm going to roll it between my palms, and then tap the tube gently. And they're all floating in there, so I mixed it well enough. And now I'm going to remove a sterile inoculating loop from the packaging and hold it with my dominant hand. Okay. Remove the cap from the reactivated culture. Remember, do not set the cap down. Hold it with the pinky of your dominant hand while holding the tube in your hand. Okay, so I'm holding the tube cap and now lighting the tube opening with the fire and flaming the mouth of it. Okay, holding the tube at an angle, insert the inoculating tube to obtain a loop of liquid broth, then withdraw the loop. Do not set the loop down. So I'm holding it at an angle. I'm gonna go in and go in to make sure there's liquid in the loop, which there is. Okay, now I'm going to flame the mouth of the tube and replace the cap once again. Okay, I'm putting it back in the tray. Now remove the cap from the fresh nutrient broth tube and do not set the cap down like we usually follow. Flame the mouth of the tube while holding the tube at an angle and inserting the oculating loop and swishing it back and forth. So I'm flaming the mouth of the tube. Okay. While holding the tube at an angle, insert the inoculating loop and swish it around gently. Okay. Okay, remove the loop, inflame the mouth of the tube, and replace the cap. Inflaming the mouth again of the nutrient broth, and putting the cap back on. Set the newly inoculated tube in the rack for incubation and leave the cap slightly open like we did in the first activity. Okay, now place the inoculating loop in the disposal jar that I have over here. Okay, now we're gonna start on activity 3. From broth culture to slant. So remove a sterile inoculating loop from its packaging. Do not set the loop down. Remove the cap of the reactivated culture. So we're going to do the same steps that we just did in the last one. Flaming the mouth of the culture. Okay. Hold the tube at an angle, insert the inoculating loop again. Making sure there's liquid on the loop. Don't set the loop down. Flame the mouth of the tube again and replace the cap. Okay, setting this back over here on the rack. Remove the cap from the Triptych Soy Agar Slant, which I have sitting right here, and I've had it sitting out for a while and there's a little liquid in there. Remove the cap of the Triptych Soy, do not set the cap down, and flame the open mouth of the tube. So again, we're going to do the same process that we just did in the last activity. Okay. Insert the inoculating loop to touch it to the bottom of the slant. Do not gouge the loop of the agar. Draw the loop back out of the tube, dragging it side to side across the surface. So I'm going to hold it at an angle. Put it in, and then go back and forth without inserting the actual loop into the solid portion of the agar. This is known as fishtailing because the way the loop is moving back and move from side to side is reminiscent of the tail movement of a fish. Okay. Take that out, and then I'm going to flame the mouth of the tube. An error that I just made is I put the lid on too early before flaming the mouth, so that could cause contamination. Okay, so I put that back in the rack, so now we're going to leave that cap slightly loose like we did with the other ones, which it is. And now we are going to place this loop into the disposal jar. Now for activity 4, we're going to do the same stuff that we have been doing the past 2 activities. So this one comes with less direction. We're going to start with grabbing one of the sterile loops. We're going to take our Triptych Soy broth, flame the mouth of it again, okay, hold it at a slant, go in with our loop, grab some of our materials, and there's still liquid on there. Next we're gonna flame the mouth of it again, we have been doing. And shutting it. Placing it back into the rack. Now we're gonna lift the lid. So here I have the petri dish right here. I have not opened it at all. Do not remove the lid completely and do not set it aside. Use the lid as a shield to protect the agar from contamination by airborne microbes. So we're going to touch the loop gently to the surface of the agar. Drag it over the surface of the agar in a back and forth zigzag fashion. So we're going to go like this. We are not going to gouge the agar, so we're going to close the lid immediately. And then we're going to invert this upside down. And there looks like there's nothing on my inoculating loop. So I'm gonna put that in there and grab a new one and start this activity over. So again, we're gonna go with the broth with our stuff in it, flame the mouth, going at an angle, grab more of our organisms, flame the mouth again, put this back on, and now we're going to go into our petri dish and move our liquid back and forth in a zigzag motion over the top of the agar, and using this as a shield. Okay, now we're going to close that, dispose of this into the disposal jar. And we're going to invert the plate and turn it upside down for incubation. Now we wait 48 hours for incubation, and I'll check tomorrow at 24 hours and take pictures, and then I will take pictures at 48 hours. And I believe that is it. Thank you.